I thought I'd do a health update. A couple of reasons. One, some people are asking me how am I doing. And the other one is I can't sleep right now. I'm in a little bit of discomfort. I'll explain that in a minute. So, as far as my cancer's going, I know I have it. I know there are some things going on in my body. No pain, no real, normally no discomfort. Tonight I'm in a little bit of discomfort. I overate. Now, one of the things that the cancer is doing is because it's growing inside my body, it's putting, when I fill my stomach too much, it puts pressure and it becomes uncomfortable. No pain, just discomfort and bloating, which is what I have right now. I ate too much dinner. It was good, so I ate too much, and so yeah, that's that's self-imposed. I have to be careful, and sometimes when something's good, I'll eat a little bit too much, and it just becomes uncomfortable. And I'm suffering from that right now. I'm a little bit uncomfortable. So my health physically has been going relatively okay. I know I have the cancer, and they're, how do you know? And it says, well, the interesting thing was, I went in and had when I was first diagnosed, I went in the hospital. They did a partial colonectomy. They took out what's called the ascending colon, which is the right side of your large intestine that's going from down by your appendix all the way up that right side. So they took out 12 inches of my colon and 6 inches of small intestine and some of the peritoneum because the tumor had spread and it was also in my lymph nodes. Now I went a year without any symptoms, which after I went through chemo, and I'm still feeling the side effects of chemo. By the way, I'm one of the things that you get with chemo is peripheral neuropathy, and it kills the nerves in your fingertips and in your feet too. But that also occurs from diabetes. So what happened? But my fingertips are slightly numb, just slightly, just a little bit irritating, but nothing terrible. But that was that may eventually go away if I live long enough, but that's unlikely. But what happened? One reason I know that I have the cancer is um, the I fall into the 1 or 2% where you get this, where the tumor follows the umbilicus up to the surface. So inside you have the umbilical cord, what's left of the umbilical cord coming in. But mine didn't go the normal route because when they took out my colon, they from my belly button up, I have about a 4-inch scar where they um, they had to use that to remove part of my large intestine. And when I first noticed some things, I saw a little. I got out of the shower and I looked down, and I'm standing in front of the mirror. I'm naked out of the shower, and I see a funny shadow. And I examine, and that's right on the scar was a little teeny bump, just a little teeny bump that I hadn't noticed before. Because normally, with scar tissue, it comes in, but this is a little teeny bump. Well, that has grown to something about that big around. And what it is, it's bright red, and there's a funny name for it, and I'm not going to look at. I looked it up, but it's a nodule, but it's a cancer tumor that's come to the surface that followed that up there, and it's tender. I can't wear a belt. I have to wear suspenders now, which is odd. I bought some belt loop suspenders because I can't, because it's right where my belt loop would rub against, and that's tender. And if I go in the kitchen and I bump up against the counter or whatever, it doesn't hurt. How do I put this? It's like a bruise that's there, and it's always, if you bump it, it's tender. And so that's there. And actually, the thing that may be happening, I may be getting another 1 or 2 of those coming to the surface. So I do know those. So those are what's happening. That's physically. Mentally, the past couple of days have been really kind of rough. And let me explain why. One of the things that I had to do, I'd actually talked to a lawyer, was do the living will. And I kept procrastinating and procrastinating. And I finally got around to getting all the information so they could do the living will. And that's hard. And the reason that's hard is you suddenly realize what you're saying. That if something happens, I don't want CPR. I don't want to be put on a respirator. I don't want them to do surgery. I don't want them to do chemo or radiation or things like that. And you have to outline what you would allow, and I disallowed all of that. So if I get there, and actually when I was last talking to my oncologist who was trying to convince me to go through more chemo, and I didn't want to do that. And the reason I want to go through more chemo is because I'm really enjoying tasting things. And chemotherapy affects your sense of taste. If you go on FOLFOX, which is the common treatment for colon cancer, you get the awful metallic taste and it kills your taste. But all chemotherapy affects your taste in some sense of thing. And to me, if anything else, my sense of taste is more extreme. I taste things more. Sometimes things taste extremely good. And that's one of the problems I have with overeating is sometimes things just taste so good. And you just want to eat some more of that, and then that causes you a little bit of problem later on. So, but filling out the living will was rough emotionally on me. And what made it probably a bit worse was I was chatting with someone, and it's Harvest Moon, and they're talking about the Harvest Moon. And that makes me think about my wife. We were married for 26 years, and we would go out and howl at the moon. I don't know. I think I did. But I started thinking about her. And that's rough. Don't get me wrong. And then today has been another one. Because I've got starting the paperwork for wills and things like that, I'm going to do, what do I do about my books? And you see some books in the background, and I've got 40 some odd boxes full of books. Yes, I have a lot of books. And I didn't realize how much they meant to me. Now, my late wife used to say books were her friend. And she used to say when she grew up that when things were going on, when there were fights in the family, she'd go into her bedroom, close the door, and read. That was her solace. And when she passed away, there were a bunch of books in our bed. There were a bunch of books in her bed. Because she was always surrounded by books. They were her friends. And we both were bibliophiles. We collected books. We were probably, in one sense, we fed each other's addiction. When we'd go to a convention, I remember we'd always load up with, would have some folding suitcases so you could put them inside so that when you came back, they would be filled. You take the folding suitcase out and fill it full of books. And we would fill it full of books and come back. And that's how we bought a lot of books that way. And thinking about giving my books away is hard. Even now, I have a hard time talking about it. They weren't my friend like they were to my wife, but they're part of me. So I'm going to do something I didn't want to do. Didn't want to leave a mess for my family, but I think I'm going to have to. I don't think I can give my books up. Logically, I know I should. particularly my technical books. I'm not going to do any more programming really. And if I do programming, it's related to just playing around and having fun. And I don't need all the technical books that I had. But giving them up is really, really hard. You can tell I have a hard time with this video. And so unfortunately, I think I'm going to leave a mess for my family. I didn't want to do that, but I can't. I thought, oh, if I get rid of a couple of boxes a week and then getting rid of a couple of boxes a book a week would be rough, would be really, really rough on me. And that's been hard. I mean, I've moved twice in the past 2 years. It's 2 years. Yeah. And so I've boxed up. I know, things like that. And I know there's some of the books are out and many of them are in boxes and things like that. But they're there. And I didn't realize how tied I was to those possessions. I mean, not much else. I mean, my computer and such, but I know I can replace my computer. I know I could replace the books if I really needed to, and the ones that I want, and the ones that are hard to get. But just giving them away is really, really hard. And those things have made the past couple of days kind of rough. Because I know I'm going to die soon. And I didn't want to leave a mess for my family. But unfortunately, I think I'm going to. Because I can't clean it up. And I really have sympathy for my sister. Because my sister talked about the mess my mother had left when she passed. Because my mother still had my grandmother's boxes of my grandmother's clothing and stuff that my sister's been going through and slowly sorting through and getting rid of things. And that's really, really rough. And she says that it's really, really rough. Because it is. It's emotional. And, I mean, I got rid of a lot of stuff when my wife passed away. And I missed her, but getting rid of some of the stuff I'm glad I did. I got rid of her clothing and a lot of her things like that. But unfortunately, my books are part of who I am. I didn't realize that. And if I lost them in a fire or a flood, that would be different than giving them up. And that's the problem that I have. So the past couple of days have been really an emotional roller coaster. I mean, I've really had some rough couple of days. Because I had to realize certain things and make certain decisions that I had been postponing for a long time. And, those are rough. So mentally, I'm okay. I've been a little bit depressed. Sorry. Sinuses keep getting me, and I can really tell if I don't take I take a Claritin every day, and I don't think I took one today. So my sinuses are running, but that's there. So I'm doing all right. Hopefully the next few days will lighten up. That I won't have the burden of dealing with some of the difficulties with that. And I got to tell my family that I'm not going to get rid of my books. I'm going to leave it for them because I just can't. It's that's really, really rough. And so that's where I'm at mentally and physically. So I'm doing okay. I'm not doing bad. Fatigue is a constant thing. I get tired real easy. I sleep a lot, but why not? I'm basically retired. I'm on disability. I'm doing fine financially. Actually doing extremely well financially, which I'm very blessed for. I'm blessed. I didn't realize how blessed I was. And I hear other people, and I know other people don't have the financial wherewithal that I do. And I'm a single male with some money in the 401k, and I've done a few things. And it's my bucket list. I may do a video about my bucket list, and the video about my bucket list that I can't do and that I wouldn't do. And I'll explain. That's sort of a humorous one. Why there are certain things I can't do because I would die. I would just die, and that I couldn't handle. But would be interesting. Maybe not the interesting way to go, because it probably wouldn't. One of them was like going to go to Machu Picchu, and the altitude would probably kill me. And literally, I mean that. When I flew out to see my family, my doctors had ran some blood tests because they were concerned about what happens with my blood with the current state that I'm in. So there are things that I can't do. I can't see. Can't go to the moon. Would like to do that, but that's not even available yet. So I'm doing fine. I'm having some fun. There are some things that really bug me, and some things, and I'm more irritable. I know that, and but I'm just trying to enjoy my life, and I have a few months probably. Don't know. Nobody knows. I know my life expectancy is not good. Like I said, I got betting odds. I got a 50-50 chance of making it to the end of the year, or making it to Christmas. They're almost the same thing. December 25th, December versus December 31st. So I got 50-50 odds of making it that way. Don't know how I'm going to go. There's a couple of nasty ways I could go. The nastiest would be a bowel blockage. But I don't think, right now I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't know. And the one that sounded the most likely was because the tumors are surrounding they're not in the liver, but they're surrounding the liver. So the odds, my uneducated, or I'm not a doctor, my non-doctor bet is that something's going to happen to my liver. And but it could happen to any of my internal organs. I cough, and the cough is probably exacerbated by the cancer. My lungs are clear, but it's probably the cancer cells tickling my lungs. So they could spread to my lungs, could spread to my liver, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm still here. I'm still happy. I have had some downtime, some time that's been a little bit rough. So I thought I'd just put together a video because I'm a little uncomfortable. I ate too much food, and I can't sleep because I slept too much this afternoon. So I thought I'd just throw together a quick video and say that. Thank you for watching my videos.